Alright, this is a fix-it, and we're sent here to fix this machine. There's no videos online of how to fix this, and no one can figure out what's wrong with it, but they say the blade won't turn when it's turned on. So, here we go. Sorry about the noise in the background, we're at a shop. So first we want to see if there's anything causing the blade not to turn. So we're going to go ahead and tug on the blade. Wow, that's pretty hard to turn. Let's see. Okay, it moves, so it's not completely stuck. That's a good sign right there. But it moves for a minute and then it stops. So let's go in for a closer look why. The machine is in the off position and the key is turned off, so it's for safety. Aha! Look at that. That tooth. Let's see. It's in line now. That one's in line to go in the chain. Let's see. But that one isn't. That one's not in line. You can't see it very well, but it won't go in. The tooth won't go in the hole because it's hitting this part instead of between. So without even turning it on, we see the problem already. Now we just got to figure out how to make the tooth fit into the hole. So for that, looks like we could adjust it right here. So we'll adjust it and we'll come right back. To adjust it, you just turn this, but you can lift this up as well. Like so. You can lift to take pressure off of this so that it's not so hard to turn. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, you guys, you see how those teeth on this wheel here, on the gear, don't line up with the chain? Now, you've seen that the chain moved, so it's not stuck on anything. However, it only moves like an inch before it gets stuck because of right there. You can see it's just getting stuck because the chain won't fit on that gear, which means this bar right here, it's probably out of line or something. So luckily we didn't have to turn it on to figure that out, because then trying to spin it with the engine, it may have gotten stuck even worse. So what I'm gonna do is there's two adjusting points, and it looks like it just simply adjusts off of this. All of a sudden it got really dark. Let's see, there we go. So it adjusts right off of this block. So I got this Allen in here. Not as sure what size Allen this is, but this is a big one. And just trying to turn this is really hard. So there's two adjustments on this. Looks like one on both sides. This one's against that block, which you also now you can't see. My luck. Okay. There. So we're just gonna basically keep tightening each side, this side and that side, until get that gear in there to line up with the chain. There. So we're just gonna keep adjusting those until that lines up. And then we'll turn it on and see if she works. Alright, I'll come right back. And this is called a trencher, just so you know. Alright, I've adjusted them, and just so you know, you want to put this nut against this piece here and spin or tighten this bolt up against there, and that way this doesn't loosen while it's operating from vibration, because then once this loosens and this gets out of alignment again, then it falls off of that gear. And then it'll lock up and ruin your machine. And this is a brand new machine. So, just operator error. Okay, as I was fixing this, I noticed that no good. 2.625 rate at APR. Yes, you heard correctly. 2.625 rate and APR. Just tighten this nut. Needless to say, people are going to own all businesses making a difference. So let's get through this together. Visit iHeart.com/smallbusiness today. That's iHeart.com/smallbusiness. Just gonna keep tightening it a tiny bit until it doesn't open itself. Then we'll know it's tight as we can make it.
And address medical conditions that could impact your well-being. For nearly a decade, we have specialized in treating ED and low T with customized treatment programs to create a high success rate. For your convenience, we now offer telemedicine appointments. You can now safely and easily connect with our medical team anywhere you have internet using your phone, tablet, or computer. We're so confident we can medically improve your ED or low T, we will refund your money if we do not. We remain committed to serving
we're going to try to turn it on.
Partner, and you can be confident in making Universal Medicine your first option for ED and low T treatment.
Choke.
We guarantee it.
If you need to contact us, call
Engine
Universal
fuel.
Men's Clinic at 916-277-8599.
We pull
That's
it.
916.
Alright, start it up. Sounds like it hasn't been raining in a while. That's throttle, and that's really loose. Doesn't seem like it's up all the way. Seems like it's barely, because it shouldn't turn off when I do that. So what we'll do is we'll get it right before it turns off. Right here. And then we'll tighten it over here. That's the throttle, so we'll just tighten it right there. We're just looking at it real quick to figure it out. Hold on one second. So it's this guy. for the little guide inside to hit that piece to lift it up.
Sacramento's throwback hip hop and R&B. I'm Nisa St. Regis. The stuff that he vibes to is always surprising.
Sweet. All right, so we're getting there. All right. Full range. Okay. So, full range now.
Play V101 on iHeartRadio.
Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try it now. So we'll put this up halfway. Key on. Choke that way. Gas off, on. So on gas, choke on, pull. All right. That actually sounds better than it did before. Let's try the stick now. Alright. Now we got a little bit of speed out of there. Now let's drop her down and see if it actually goes down. Wow, this is quite the piece of junk. well, I guess we'll have to fix that a little bit more.
To call and see if they qualify.
Alright, so this
Simply
is
dial 800
stuck in there.
305
So there's a pin right here.
If you owe back taxes
We're just
to the
going to push it
IRS
out,
and cannot afford to pay them back or have
and then
years of
this piece
unfiled tax returns,
should come out.
help
Then
is
we'll look at
standing
it
by.
and
Just call the
see
Community
why
Tax Helpline
it
today
won't lift
at
up and
800-305-6417
go down on its own with the button.
for the help that you need. Don't
iHeartRadio Small Business Crisis Resource. There you'll find small business resources to help you get through this, including the latest info on loans, grants, and other forms of relief. You'll also see stories about small businesses making a difference. So let's get through this together. Visit iHeart.com/smallbusiness today. That's iHeart.com/smallbusiness.
California, welcome to More Than Enough Reason with Geico. You're barely 100 yards into that 10K you never actually tried
Oh, I
to
see
run.
now.
How many miles we had?
You have more than enough reason to call
If you
it
looked
quits,
at it,
but not today.
somehow
You're
we'll
in
figure it
to
out.
win it.
Takes a little willpower.
You've also got more than
It's
enough
broken.
reason to switch to Geico because Geico offers
It's supposed to
emergency
have
roadside service, and they give you access to agents 24/7. Unlike
this
the
piece
access you wish you had to an
on
offer
both
from this
sides
10K.
with a groove in the middle.
And while you
A
regret
guide.
not getting access to a decent training program, at least you've got access to Geico's handy mobile app that lets you easily file a claim or pay your
So that
bill.
pin just sits inside that hole, and that's what lifts it up and down. So because this is broken, the button doesn't really operate it very good. So we're just going to leave this out and put the lever back on there. That'll fix that for now, until we can get another piece like this.
At your local office.
The podcast.
So you just stick it in there and screw it.
Business icon. And you.
Screw it on, screw it in.
Valedictorians, handing out $50,000 per winner in tuition and sharing their graduation speeches with the world during the Doritos Valedictorian episode. So check out Commencement the podcast.
So there, now it'll at least operate
wherever you get your podcasts.
without
We go to great
having an
lengths
issue.
to protect our families. We set garage
All right, we got it. We got it. It's going. And now look at the lever. When we move the lever down, it doesn't turn off the motor. And when we move it up, it turns it up. Not kill the motor, turn it up. That's what we wanted. All right. Cool. So now we're gonna grab this and try to engage the blade and see if it turns. I'll be right back for that. Okay, so I found another problem. This is on a spring system here.
B101.1 in Sacramento,
And so this is supposed to be able to spring, but it's solid. It ain't moving nowhere. So I'm gonna loosen this bolt and that bolt, or this bolt. I'm gonna loosen it up so that this could swing like it's supposed to. Okay, so I loosened it and it didn't work, but it got a little bit better. And so then I just loosened this one as well, and now it moves. There it goes. So it's not going back on its own, which means that something's too tight. So we'll loosen this one up a little bit more. Okay, I loosened both of those up, these two. And now let's try it. There, now it's doing what it's supposed to do. Cool. Okay. Now to the next problem. For a new machine, that's pretty weird how so many parts of it aren't set up right. Okay, so I've got it working, but sometimes when I pull it up, it doesn't come down right away, it gets stuck like that. So I've noticed that the spring is kind of loose right now. At this point, it's loose, you see? It shouldn't be. Because right now it needs to be tight enough to push this back down to its resting location. So how you do that? You just tighten this. until the spring is tight, and then it'll push that bar down with more force. We're basically just tightening the spring, putting force on the spring. Doesn't have to be too much. Let's try that. That works really well. Doesn't get stuck at all now. And that's, oh, it still gets stuck right there. Okay. Okay, we'll tighten it a little bit more. Okay. Wow. Okay, perfect. Now to the next part. Okay, so what I'm doing is just tightening this a little bit and then spinning this wheel back and forth until it spins all the way around once free, and then I'll know that it's at the right adjustment. But in the meantime, while I've spinned it around, I see right there, there's a bunch of gunk in the gear, and it's solid, so the gear will hit that and stop, or break the chain, because it'll tighten the chain instantly, but while this motor's spinning really fast. So we're just gonna beat the crap out of there, that stiff, get all that stiff out of there. Alright, so I got that all good. Now I'm gonna take some oil. This is an awesome oiler, look at that, an old John Deere oiler. That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna squirt that in there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. That should get it past that point. Now we're gonna try it. Let's see if this puppy dog will spin all the way around. Wow, it got all the way around. Nice. That means we fixed it. All right. That turns pretty smooth. All right. Well, it's got stuck right there. So, feel this chain. Okay. Tighten it up a little bit more. Bam, bam. Okay. Chain's still okay. Turn it. Check the chain. Okay, so it is spinning all the way around, and it is adjusted right, and so now it's going to work on its own without me turning it or getting stuck. However, you see there's more than 1/4 of an inch under there, so you pretty much want to adjust it till there's like 1/4 of an inch under there, just like on a chainsaw. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and tighten this up a little bit more. There it is. Quarter of an inch, and it's pretty, however, it's a little bit tight, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen up a tiny bit. Well, not that much. There we go. Perfect. Go for the spin test. Okay, it moves, but it was a little hard, so we're gonna loosen it up a little bit more. And I'll try it again. Okay, that was nice and easy. And it's still good. Oh, perfect. Okay. So now we're going to put that nut up against there. And you guys could do that. I need my 2 hands. Just hold that. Actually, here, we can do it. Stick that right there. Sorry about the music, guys. I didn't pick the music. It's just at the shop, and I can't turn it off or anything. There we go.
Sacramento's throwback hip hop and R&B.
There we go. Alright, so now we got to do that same thing with the other adjustment on the other side. Okay, so you get the idea. I'm just going to tighten that one up against the metal. Once it touches the metal over here, then I'll scoot the nut back against this part, and we're good. Then we'll start it up and get it going for you guys. Okay, people. We tightened both of those up, and I tightened that up against this part, and then went to loosen this a little bit in order to snug that up to that really tight. So this ain't moving, even if this vibrates a ton. And I did the same thing with that one there.
101, Sacramento's throwback hip-hop and R&B. What's happening? Louis Prince tonight, man. Common and Tiffany Haddish flaunting their quarantine romance on IG Live. You want to check it out? V1011fm.com.
Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me. I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me.
Okay. Alright, let's give it a turn on. See if that blade starts spinning. So this is turned down. This is up, that's down. So, wow, this engineering right here, it's nice for the slide, but it's not very smart. Because see that pin? It's not even all the way in the hole. So if I lean on this, the pin could just pop right out with the weight of that blade spinning. It would just pull right out of there. So I literally have to like push weight on it this way. Whoa, see? I didn't even twist the handle and it just fell down. And now I'll just squeeze the handle and lift it back up. There, it clicks in. And then I'm gonna push it in like that. And just kind of make sure that it doesn't pop out, because then I'll dig a hole in the concrete. That would be terrible. So I'm gonna get a welder, and right here in that little open space, actually, you know what? I'll get a sledgehammer, hit this plate once or twice right here really hard, and it'll just bend this plate that direction. That way this can't pop out up over here, because the plate will be, the guide will be thinner. So it should slide in between it instead of being free to just fall out. So we'll get to that later. But you guys could just do that by smacking it with a big hammer, or just putting it on a press or vise. Alright, so let's turn this on. On. Gas. Choke. Pull. It's already choked. Okay, it's on. Okay, and the blade shouldn't spin yet. Now we should turn this on, or up, turn it up, and the blade should spin. Oh wow, it almost popped out. All right. Then clutch out. So we did it. It's fixed. I'm gonna go get a hammer and smack the crap out of this real quick, because it almost popped out on me while it was operating. That's terrible. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for watching another Fix It. This was fixing a trencher machine. A brand new one. Which is interesting. Never touched one of these before, so that was fun. Alright guys. Have a good one.